Dr. Sharma, when you say there are many Hindus, or there are Hindus, but there is no Hinduism, um, that raises some questions. I was wondering if you could talk a little bit more about that.
Let me try to explain this statement, and I admit it's an enigmatic statement, even to a Hindu when he encounters it for the first time. The circumstances in which it was made, because I was quoting here a very well-known scholar of religious studies in the Western world, Professor Wilfred Cantwell Smith. And Professor Smith argued that there are Hindus, but there is no Hinduism. This is part of his larger argument. His larger argument is that the modern concept of religion itself as a bounded entity with well-defined beliefs and practices is an Enlightenment idea. Mm-hmm. It's not a pre-Enlightenment idea when people talk more in terms of faith than belief. And I guess you can see by the use of the words, faith is faith in things unseen. It does not have clear boundaries, but that doesn't mean that it is not there, and so on. It may have a clear focus, but its boundaries, can be flexible, so on. On the other hand, beliefs have to be definite, verifiable, so on. So from there, he came next stage that when we go to a religion, which we now call religion, like even Christianity, and we go to Hinduism and call it Hinduism, we are performing a very modern endeavor. We are engaged in a very modern post-enlightenment exercise of looking upon these things as bounded entities with a determined set of beliefs and practices. And this was kind of a mistake, quote unquote, which has occurred. And he found a telling example of this in Hinduism. Because you are calling it Hinduism under the influence of this background and tradition, but there is no single belief or practice which is shared by all Hindus. Usually, belief in the Vedas, sanctity of the cow, sanctity of the Brahmins, belief in the caste system, number of such points are chalked up as markers of Hinduism, of Hindu identity. But none of them is universal. So playing on the pluralism of Hinduism, he was giving an extreme example of how epistemically violent this act of modernity is in calling Hinduism a religion. Because it should now have some bounded beliefs, clear-cut beliefs and practices which it does not have. Therefore, it is not Hinduism, but there are people who are willing to identify themselves as Hindus without being part of that bounded entity kind of thing. So there are Hindus, but there is no Hinduism. This is, I think, what underlies it. Now, the twist I was giving to it was connecting this with the idea of the communitarian religion. You can go a step further and say, and this is because the Hinduism is an expression of the togetherness of the Hindus, which is so plural Pluralism is a very important element, key element in this togetherness. And to such an extent that they are so plural that only single formulation of belief or practice can be made about